Hello and welcome. We are live with the Heslop Tech Talk with the brothers Heslops. And we're coming at you on a nice day. It was kind of rainy and crazy this morning. I don't know about you guys, but it has evened out. It's beautiful outside. Coming at you live here from West Virginia for me. Jeremy, why don't you introduce yourself to the Heslop Tech Talkers?
Cool. Hello, everybody. I am Jeremy, the elder one, the elder scroll of the Heslop clan. And coming at you from Hadouken. Oh, wait, wrong one. We are from OmniTech Pro. We're doing good over here, having fun, doing some business-to-business tech, and excited to talk some more tech. Talk today.
Oh, yeah. All right, Josh, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, Joshua14. I'm Josh Heslop, the middle wheel in the Heslop Tech Talk cog. And I do Surface Pro game benchmarks on the YouTubes, as well as Tech Talk reviews and game reviews and all kinds of stuff. So, and you can also find me on Twitter, Joshua Heslop, at Joshua Heslop, and on the interwebs at josher.net.
Nice. Got a plethora of options there. So moving right in, there's been some fun stuff in the tech world. An announcement that first came off that kind of surprised a lot of people. Other people saw some leaks and thought this could be an option. But the company Red that makes cinema cameras, ones that typically are like $20,000 plus, are producing a smartphone, or so they say. They're taking pre-orders right now, which, you know, could be a lot of things. I saw someone post today that they 2 years ago they said they were going to do a 4K projector and never launched it. They took pre-orders and never shipped it or made it. But that's neither here nor there right now. We're going to be showing you guys what this looks like here. So they really didn't release a lot about it, except for here is just the one image they sent. So it's a real Red-looking camera with kind of a modularity. You see exposed screws here. Looks like some type of modular magnet type thing, like Moto mods would do. But you see USB-C, you see a headphone jack, you see a beefy-looking camera on the top. But what's been shown, and what is most interesting to me, is that there's been leaks of camera modules. That's interesting, but then that's also terrifying because, as you can see here, there's two versions. There's a Lumina version for a cool $1,200, $1,195, $1,195 by that, not $11.
Wow.
And then $1,600, so $1,595 for the titanium version. And obviously these are going to be premium pieces. They're not going to be a joke, but you start with that. And the thing that Red is really known for is their modularity and adding on to their products. So with a Red camera, you can buy the base for like $8,000 to $13,000, depending on the model, the Scarlet or the Dragon. You know, there's a bunch of models, but a lot of them start, you know, $13,000 just for the base. And then by the time you buy battery packs and SSDs and you know, extra lenses and all that stuff, you're well over $20,000. So what they're thinking with this is, you know, you buy a battery module on the back to extend the battery. You buy like some hand grips, some stuff like that. You know, that's I'm assuming you're gonna get to $5,000 real fast with this. But the big thing is being able to shoot 4K RAW with this in such a small thing. It will be an Android-based device here. It'll be a 5.7 inch. This is from Pocketnow, 5.7 inch. They're toting a holographic display that you can do 2D, 3D, and stereo 3D content. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy because we don't really know what that means. It says this is a bit. They have like this special virtual reality thing that you don't need goggles for it. That you can literally just hold the screen out and it'll look 3D. So we've seen this before years ago, kind of gimmicky, and we'll see what Red is going for here. They're calling this a media machine. The Hydrogen 1 media machine. So this is like something that they're really hyping up, and they're saying Q1 of 2018. But that's a very mixed thing here. When we really don't know much about it, other than it's Android, 5.7-inch screen, shoots 4K and RAW, and there can be external media through an SD card slot. So yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking of Red getting in the phone manufacturing game? This is pretty crazy.
Did they say full SD card?
No, micro SD card slot still.
Okay, and then I don't think that they're going to do 4K RAW with just the hardware. I don't think you have to add anything on there with that, because didn't the LG V20 can do 4K RAW?
It can do 4K MP4 or H.264 files, but it can't do like full RAW. It can do with pictures, but not raw video.
Okay.
That's the difference. Is the raw video, which you're going to be able to use S-Log, things like that, to color correct much better and much more cinema quality than just being able to have to adjust ahead of time. So that you can shoot a lot more flat and be able to adjust it where you would want to do with like a Sony camera or GH5 or another camera that can shoot raw and some of those logs. So I don't know. They didn't say what all file types it's going to be able to shoot in, so I don't really know that yet. But
it has those fins on the back. Makes me think that that might be for cooling, because I know a lot of the like Sony or Panasonic was having overheating issues on the first 4K renditions of their CMOSs. So I'm just wondering if they're they either have like a GeForce Titan or a Ryzen in there or something like that, and they're trying to cool it, or they're just keeping the components a little bit cooler.
No, it's this big of a device. It's the same, just
5.7
size as my V20, which is 5.7. Okay. I'm assuming it's going to be a little thicker without a case, and I'm thinking the same thing. That's you see kind of like the ribbed on the side too. That I'm thinking is probably some ventilation, because if this is shooting 4K RAW at a high frame rate, I'm hoping it's going to do 60 frames.
And they'd be silly not to have a whole ecosystem around it, because you can get a decent media machine. I mean, the V20 in itself is a decent media machine already. Yeah, exactly. So I can see them saying, okay, well, why buy a 4K RED or 8K, full RED equipped camera when you can buy this Android phone, 4K RAW, has a couple lenses, has a battery pack, has SSD storage with those little teeny connectors on the bottom, and you're holding a full production class machine for maybe $3 or $5 grand.
Yeah, exactly. And I really see that, where there's a lot of incoming trends on movies that are just shot on phones, that are just shot, like with videos from Instagram and stuff like that people are like putting together for short films that look really pretty good. And so this is kind of like a next step that you can really, there could be a lot of potential here, but at the very least, a $1,200 buy-in for just the unit. And there's no way,
it's gotta be more than consumer.
There's no way that that's all you're going to need to run this camera. I mean, you might be able to run it as a phone for that and get decent photo and video with it, but there's no way that that's what Red's going to do. It's just like, they have that modularity for a reason. They're stepping up camera grips. They're stepping up everything that you're going to want to do that. I'm looking forward to seeing what that means. We obviously got some time. Obviously got some time to wait and sit on this, but I've seen a decent bit of people already pre-order it. But the joke was that it's mostly going to be tech YouTubers, the people that are going to buy it. Sure. Either they're in film industry, or they're a tech YouTuber that wants to do a video on it, or maybe add a B cam to their thing. But like you said, a Sony handheld camera shoots 4K out of the box for $1,000. So, and probably has a bigger sensor, potentially, I don't know. Let more light in and do a little bit better in other conditions. So who knows if they have like attachments to help with with some of the lenses. You know, you attach on, and then you have a 12 millimeter wide angle lens, and not just the 27 that's built into the main camera. So this is exciting to me. Not something I'm going to be able to afford unless someone would send it to me, or you know, I use it with someone. But it's pretty cool that they're pushing this boundary. So pretty exciting stuff. I don't know. Any more thoughts?
Hydrogen is dangerous.
Hydrogen dioxide. We should stay away from that stuff.
You're right. It's pretty bad. Okay,
kill you.
Speaking of dangerous stuff, what is the opposite of saving dangerous? Is saving lives? Maybe no.
Yes, okay. Maybe.
But there's some cool smart tech that's coming out. Jeremy, what do you got for us here?
So, I mean, this isn't specific to saving lives, but a smart home device did save a life. They're saying in New Mexico, somebody was house sitting for a friend, and somebody came in wielding a firearm and threatened him and his girlfriend and daughter. And he apparently asked her, "Did you call the sheriffs?" Well, the smart speaker that was hooked up, and they're not saying whether it was Google or Alexa or whoever it was, but it's probably Google because they're the best, you know. But called 911 and was listening in on the conversation that was happening at that time, and they sent over a SWAT team and the sheriff's department, and they arrived and they got everybody out of there, and only had some minor injuries. So I just thought it was interesting. So have some kind of like program 911 into your smart home device, maybe your smart speaker, and you know, have them automatically call 911 with a special, you know, like the butterfly flies over the mountain or something.
The Apple, if it was the Apple Home device, it probably would have been like ordering pizza, and then, and then the robber would be like, great, and just now in pizza as they're stealing from them, you know.
Exactly. So
but
I just thought that was
amazing. Yeah. Did you hear about those tweeters?
Oh yeah, tweeters.
Yeah, it's got the.
I have no doubt that it's going to probably sound good. I just doubt Siri's integration being that great.
It's getting better. I think with iOS 11, they're making some strides and things like that, and it's still not as good as Google's implementation, but you know, it's definitely giving Bixby a ride for its money. So
latest leak was that there's going to be a Bixby speaker, and everybody did a collective, we don't want that.
Right.
Because it doesn't even work on the phone yet. Like,
no, exactly.
There's like a
Samsung
20%, if that, of usability of what they said it would have, and it never even shipped with the phone correctly. So it was a button that people on the S8 that everybody tried to remap to a different button because they accidentally hit it all the time while going for their volume rocker. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm happy that smart home stuff is really getting more integrated and starting to do bigger things. Right now, it's still kind of a lot of a buy-in to kind of get your whole house into it.
I would say last year's equipment is as good as this year's, and it's just become cheaper and cheaper. Yeah. I had a buddy, Shane, you know, Shane, he was at Goodwill, and somebody had turned in one of those doorbells that have a camera on them.
Oh, the Ring doorbell.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. And so it was $40. He got it for $40. Wow. Normally like 150 or whatever. So you can find some of the stuff, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of saving lives, it didn't save a life, but there was a tech YouTuber guy that had a Ring, one of those, on his front door, and it detects movement and films whenever someone comes up. And there was a guy that broke into his house and stole boatloads of stuff, stole his keys, and then later stole his, like the next day, stole his car. And this was in England somewhere, and in the UK. And police were able to track him down. He had actually stolen and did like 4 other places in the area. And because of it was an HD, really good 1080p of the guy going like this, like right in the camera. And so they were able to catch him and put him in jail. And I don't know how much of their stuff they got back yet, but at least they caught the guy, and they're going through and doing everything they can to get it back. But hey, that's right there. That makes up for the $150, $200 they're worth. You know, that's thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff that they're getting this guy for. So, well, not to mention a car too, but pretty crazy. Yeah, we looked. Actually, Brandy's dad was looking at getting a ring for us at one point too, and for Kendra. But they're pretty cool. I mean, for us, it's not a huge deal. Wouldn't. But I can definitely see in certain areas, or if you're home alone a lot, that would be especially good. Or maybe a more secluded area that you would want to know when someone's coming up to your door. But moving right along, there's some fierce battling that's going on, and that's in the world of benchmarks. Josh, what kind of action's happening with this AMD Vega that's just getting people getting all ruffled here?
They're getting all crazy about it. Well, the first set of benchmarks I have are from Gamers Nexus, and let me share this bad boy for you.
Oh, nice.
And I basically went down to the meat and potatoes because there's a lot of their benchmarks are crazy. So if you look in the gray shaded areas, this is the 1080 reference just above it, and the 1070 reference just below it for the Frontier edition of the AMD Vega. And game mode is 4906. The regular, I think it's overclocked, is 4302. So it's way better in game mode. And for reference, the 1080 reference card is 5025. So it's just underneath the 1080. Whereas this card costs $1,000. So okay. I'm thinking
how much is the reference card?
The reference for GTX 1080 is only about 500.
Oh wow.
To 450. So yeah, I mean it started at $599, but now it's like $499. So yeah. It's definitely, if you want a game, don't get the Frontier edition right now until I think it comes down to software and tweaking and stuff like that. I think the hardware is there to push it, but it's just not optimized yet. Yeah. Let's go down. That's another Fire Strike Extreme. It got 9715. The 1080 Founders Edition got 10,280. Yeah. Let's go down to a couple of games here so you guys can see the difference.
The real world here.
Yes. This is Wildlands in 4K. And the Founders Edition was getting around 37 average, and the 1080 was getting 43. And then For Honor. The Frontier Edition was getting 40 average, 40.3. The 1070 reference beat it 40.7 and 49.7 on the 1080. And that's in 4K with extreme graphics as well. And one more, Sniper Elite 4, 4K high settings with DX12. The Frontier on Air, 53 average. The 1080 was 60 average. 1070 was 47.
Josh, so, quick question. I don't know about optimization. Does it matter, like, if it's a 1080 on an Intel chipset versus a Ryzen with the Vega? Like, is there an optimization that helps with that?
Not really. It really comes down to the software optimization, the drivers, because NVIDIA has teams working on the drivers for all these different games, and every single driver they update, they're like, hey, we just increased GTA 5 8% with this driver. So that's what's going to make the difference for your games.
Like I know that Overwatch has some optimizations for NVIDIA chipsets. Like it has a higher frame rate with NVIDIA. Like the drivers
so it all comes down to the card makers, AMD and NVIDIA going to the game makers, and some of them have deals and saying plays best on NVIDIA, that kind of thing. But and now that's the Frontier Edition. That's the one that's actually for prosumer and professional guys that do 3D modeling and stuff like that. Okay. This next slide is from WCCFtech.com, and this is the Vega the gaming edition that's just for gaming, because the Frontier has a gaming mode, but this is just the Vega for gaming.
Okay.
And they've already done a 3D Mark. This leaked 11 performance graphics score, and this beats the 1080 by 15% and 35% ahead of GTX 1070.
And this is a little more real world type of performance is what this looks at a little bit.
Yes. So that's, I mean, it's still a synthetic benchmark, but let me look down here.
And you're talking about the Frontier one was more of the CAD / like it compares to the Quattro line, right?
Yes. Yes. So
whereas this RX is more of like the GTX 1080 type card.
Yes, the RX Vega, but the Vega Frontier Edition is more, exactly what you said. It's fighting the Quadro cards, which the cheapest Quadro card is $2,000. So you're automatically saving $1,000 just going with the Frontier Edition.
Yeah, just so people know that usually you're not going to get a Quadro for gaming.
No.
So if you're looking just for gaming, you're going to get the RX. But if you only had the Frontier because you were doing CAD and other things, then you'd still be able to game. It just won't be as nice as a 1080 GTX or something.
Exactly, because the hardware is not optimized for that, or the software is not optimized for that. So, all right, have a nice alarm sound. Woo, it's my jam.
Nice.
But yeah, I definitely would say hold off until the more benchmarks and more reviews come out. It's just too soon to figure things out right now.
Yeah. And they always shake down. I mean, it usually takes a few months for drivers to really get optimized for the operating systems out there. So, you know, there'll be a couple renditions, and just like with Apple products, I usually wait till version 2. So, you know, this is version 1 of their Vega, you know, coming out of the box. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine because they've done graphics before, but I'm probably going to wait till version 2 to really see where it sits at in the price points and things. So,
yeah. Well, speaking of gaming and kicking that off, well, my favorite game at the moment is Overwatch, as you all may know, and the moment we've been waiting for a while, a hero that has been in myth and legend, and it's the game itself has teased about it for so long, and now he is finally here. It is DOOMFIST. And this guy is crazy. So here's his movesets. He's a little bit more complicated, I would think, than some other heroes. And the reason being is he's got some combo sets. So you look here, here's DOOMFIST himself. This is how he looks. He's got this huge gauntlet that you see in the game, actually, that they've shown already. So he's pretty crazy. He's got a hand cannon on his right hand that he shoots like a shotgun out of his knuckles, which is pretty cool. So that's kind of like his mid-range, like trying to close the gap on people. You can shoot some people out of the air type of thing, but it's not that far of a range. Then one of his big things, he can jump up in the air and do a seismic slam. It pulls people slightly closer to you. He's got an uppercut. And you actually, the crazy thing is, here's where the combos start getting crazy. You can uppercut someone up in the air and then seismic slam them down. So you can get some wombo combos. And part of that is he's actually got a shield that when he lands a combo like that, it puts a temporary small shield on him. And then his biggest thing that people are most going to be calling OP and crazy is this rocket punch. So he charges up, and the longer you hold, that's his alternate click, the right click. The longer you hold that charge, the farther he's going to shoot forward and the more damage you're going to do. And if you hit them up against a wall, it's actually going to do a lot more damage. The craziest thing is that Reinhardt, his shield, this can go right through it.
Oh, snap.
So Reinhardt being, you know, a strong tank, this is an attack hero with relatively high health for attack hero, being able to put a damage on it. And then a lot of people are excited for his ultimate, which is a huge ring that appears over the air, and then he drops down, stunning and doing a considerable amount of damage. So DOOMFIST will be crazy because he's the kind of guy that's going to jump out of nowhere, kind of do a crazy amount of damage and try to jump out, try to hit some healers down, try to knock out your big tank. So I'm excited for checking him out. Like I said, the best defense that generates temporary personal shields when he does ability damage, like his lance punches. So they've got this cool origin story, like a arcade-ish type look to it, with Winston, Tracer, and Genji fighting him. And so he's part of the Talon, which is a Reaper's another leader of that. So there's all kinds of lore that brings it that's fun with Overwatch, but it looks like a really dynamic character with a lot of fun things kind of built into him. So I'm excited to play him. You actually can join the PTR right now, the public test region, and play him right now if you download that version and get him to check him out. But he'll be out later, I think either by the end of the month or early next month when they kind of get a lot of those little things worked out. But let me know what you guys think about DOOMFIST, because I think he'll be pretty crazy and kind of change the game up. I don't know if, Josh, you've played Overwatch. Jeremy, have you played it all?
No, just watch you guys play some.
Yeah. Josh, what do you think of this guy? He looks pretty crazy.
Diva or die. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah.
Solo Diva. I don't think he's gonna have that much health. Or if he has a lot of health at the beginning, they're gonna nerf him.
I think he has 250. So a normal tank has anywhere from 400 to 500.
Yeah, that's not a lot. So yeah, he's gonna have to definitely watch it, because
the point is that he has to land those abilities to get a shield. If you miss your abilities, you're gonna die right away because you won't even have a chance, because 250 health. Soldier is a strong, like, actual just what he is, a soldier, like run and gun type of shooting guy. He has 200 health for reference there, and so he just has a little bit
heal
more
himself,
and he can heal himself. So this guy DOOMFIST, you really got to land it. There's a little bit of higher skill gap. It said 3 difficulty, which out of 5, which I'm surprised, because I thought it would be a little harder to play him. But who knows? Maybe people are going to get real good with him real fast. So I think it'll be fun to try out and try something different there. But well, kind of some more smart tech here coming in with Jeremy. What do you got with a luggage revolution, Jeremy?
So I think we might have talked about other trackers in the past, but this one I thought was interesting because who doesn't get super frustrated when they're traveling and you show up to your place, you're at the luggage rack, and it's not coming out. Everybody's gone, and you just see like somebody else's piece of luggage going round and round. And you're like, where's my luggage? It's so frustrating. So these guys from Toomey, they are teaming up with AT&T, and they basically have what they call their global locator. That's a wireless tracking device that has GPS, Bluetooth, and a couple other things like an accelerometer and stuff. And so it will actually use a SIM card with GPS, GSM to track where your luggage is as you're going. So it'll give you real-time data to either your Android or iOS device, and through its accelerometer, it knows where it is. So once it gets into the air, it'll actually shut off and go into sleep mode. And then when it's in the hotel, it can recognize that it's at the home base. You're like, it hasn't moved, and kind of give you an alert if it does move. So it'll let you know if somebody's trying to take your bag or something like that. And then a proximity mode that'll let you know if you've like walked away from your bag. So it's got some interesting things that are in different devices, like the proximity mode thing, that kind of give you a full suite of tools for keeping track of your luggage and not having to lose it, because it's a pain if you are traveling and you lose all your luggage. So it starts at 200, I think, and what should be available, because it's 1 year of tracking service. But
yeah, that's what I was going to ask is after that year, is there like a $5 a month, $20 a month? Because obviously AT&T is wanting to do this to get some money in the game, I'm sure. They probably had a partnership up front with monies.
I'm sure there's going to be a small monthly fee is what I'm guessing. So I did not see where they said that, but I'm going to their site real quick. And
it didn't show up. Oh, there it is. It didn't show up for me for some reason. I clicked on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is cool to me because there's a lot of like smart tech bags right now, but a lot of them are Bluetooth, and that doesn't help you because you have them. Oh man, if you lose it in the terminal, that's great because it's 30 feet. But the second it goes on the rotary and goes actually on the plane, you don't track it. There has been a couple that do have GPS built in, but those are pretty expensive. I've seen them more than $200. So this seems pretty interesting. So this Well, that's a bag itself. So this is just a chipset, I'm assuming, not the bag.
Yeah, it's just
a little device. It's like it's like the size of
like
your
a credit
phone.
card. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a phone type size, and you just slide it into one of your secure slots, and then it lets you know on the app where it actually is. So it'll give you battery indicators, so you know when it's charged or not. And you know,
I can't imagine the average thief, you know, stealing somebody's bag from the airport and being like, "Get the Tumen Global Locator out first.
Turn it out, hurry!" Yeah, exactly. Not yet, anyway. They may in the future, but
it does make me wonder a little bit because I did the video on the ZTE Max XL. It's a $100 phone. You put a SIM card in there, and you don't have to do the service, but just have the SIM card on. You could do a track my phone with Android, and you can get a general location. I mean, obviously, you're not going to get the same features, but for $100 less, that's kind of similar.
Yeah.
But this is obviously very specific, optimized for what it is. So that's kind of interesting. So kind of thinking a little outside the box. But if you're traveling a lot and you have like stuff for your business, camera equipment, or documents or whatever, this could be a super cool thing. But we'll move on right along to more cool things. Josh, it's been boiling. It's been bubbling up here. The Xbox One X. More information. What do you got for us?
Yes. So from ArsTechnica.com, this they have shown Xbox One X benchmarks detailing the 4K capabilities. So they actually are sharing a video from Digital Foundry, and they gave a whole rundown on how they got the development sources and stuff like that. Yeah, they they overclocked the Xbox One, Xbox One. Xbox. But they basically say they give performance for information for 9 titles running on Xbox One. The only problem is that they don't tell you which titles they are. It's being very vague. They're like, this one is a racing title that runs on Xbox One regular at 720 60 frames or 1080 60 frames. So it's like, we're pretty sure that one's Forza and that one's, Halo or whatever. But they said that they're stressing that they're rudimentary, unoptimized ports that don't make any use of any new hardware effects for the Xbox One X. They just basically threw the basic, 4K up-res technology or whatever. They basically said, hey, we're going to slap these games right onto the ports and see how they run at 4K. And so they said the games that run at 900p or 720p on the Xbox One seem to have more trouble reaching the full 4K standard Microsoft is hyping for the Xbox One X. So one title went from 720p 60 FPS on the base hardware to 4K 38 FPS performance when trying to force peak resolution on a basic Xbox One export. So obviously they've got more headroom to do all the kind of work to port this thing. But if they just do a basic like, hey, let's up-res this to 4K, they're not going to hit the same 60 FPS right away. They're going to have to work to make some sacrifices or tweak things here and there. So
One X coming out.
It comes out November 7th, I believe.
I mean, they obviously still have a lot of time to optimize things.
Yes. So, but they said basically, they're saying you're going to expect an easy port to Xbox One X with just a baseline 4K resolution boost, and then start with your high-end PC settings, use the memory well, and fill in any extra frame time with additional effects. So it's interesting for sure to see them starting to just test them out. head out to Digital Foundry for that video. I'm going to throw this article in the chat.
Nice.
If you guys want to check it out, because it is very interesting.
Yeah, that's super legit. I'm excited. They have a lot to do there, obviously, but that's great that they can up-res those games and that it can look hopefully pretty good. But we want to make them playable. I mean, I'd rather them have better frame rate than being the crispest 4K. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's why I run. I mean, I have my games so they look nice and smooth. So kind of pick your poison. Some people might want a lower frame rate and just have it super clear and crisp, but I'm sure they're going to be able to optimize it better here in the future. Like you said, we still have a number of months, a lot of time here to do that. They're not going to be just messing around, but well, cool. That'll do it on my end for here. I have so many things on the list to do right now. It's just got to get to them. I'll have about a week and a half. I'll be a lot better off now, but but yeah, I got might notice a little better lighting setup with a few things here. So maybe that helped too. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to jumping in with you guys. Josh, what kind of goodness do you have happening right now?
Well, I am doing a giveaway right now for Gleam. What? And
you want to post that in the chats at some point? I can put it in the show notes, so to speak, in the actual listing.
Sure. Let me throw it in the. Want to throw it in here?
Nice.
But basically, I'm giving away. Oh, I think I put in the wrong one. Let me delete that one.
You put it. Oh, was that a one from before?
Yeah, it was. Well, no, it was just the my main page, which people can't get to unless they log in.
Oh, yeah, that won't happen.
But yeah, I'm giving away 3 Loot Crate figures. One is Wolverine as Logan with his claws, and one is Jessica Jones smashing through a wall, and the other is Rocket Raccoon and Baby Groot from
Baby Groot.
Yes. Where did I put them? I put them.
Nice.
I am Groot.
So here's one of them.
I am Groot.
I know, little baby.
Yes.
Cool.
Like it.
Yeah.
Like it.
Because I've got way too many pops and crap. I've just got too much stuff. So
nice. Well, cool. So, like you said, there'll be a link in the description as well in the chat there that you can go to win some figure goodness with those, and then all kinds of Surface things with the new Surface Pro. He's got you covered with benchmarks and gaming with the i5 and the i7. He's been pumping out some good content over there, so make sure you check that out. Jeremy, how's it going out your way?
Doing well. Survived July 4th and this week, and looking forward to awesome weekend. And you can find us at omnitechpro.com and on Omnitech Pro channel. Yeah.
And if you're ever thinking you want to start a business, or you know someone that needs some expansion on their business or some IT or marketing solutions, check out Omnitech Pro. Lots of great stuff with a lot of years of experience and great success. So thank you, brothers. It has been fun. Thank you, watchers and viewers here. Thank you for sticking around and talking tech with us. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend and lots of fun. We'll see you next time. But as always, classy. Boom.